Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we're diving into a report that might sound boring, but trust me, it has a hidden twist, kind of like finding out your grandma is secretly a black belt in karate. We're looking at Viemed Healthcare's recent filing, and it reveals some interesting financial moves, including a share repurchase program that could affect the stock price. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, where you can discuss these topics further with other investors. So this report is like a snapshot of what Viemed has been up to as of June 6, 2025. It's called an 8K, which companies filed to let investors know about big changes or events that could be important. One of the main things is an update to their credit agreement, basically a loan agreement. They made a second amendment, meaning they changed the rules of the loan a bit. Specifically, this amendment allows them to spend more money on things like buying back their own shares. This is the twist I was hinting at. Companies often repurchase shares to boost the stock price, especially if they think their stock is undervalued, like buying a diamond at the price of glass. The details of this change are outlined in what's called the Second Amendment to the credit agreement. If you're really interested, you can find the full legal text as exhibits or attached documents to the report, but we'll just cover the key points here. Adding to that, Viemed issued a press release about the share repurchase program, which means they publicly announced their plan to buy back shares. They also plan to use an investor presentation to get the word out. It is all designed to keep everyone informed. This is about making sure everyone gets the same information at the same time. It's a rule to prevent companies from whispering secrets to some investors but not others. The press release and the investor presentation are included in this report, so everyone can see them. Here's the nitty-gritty of the share repurchase. Then Viemed's board gave the thumbs up to buy back shares up to a certain amount until June of next year. Think of it like having a coupon that expires next year. They can use it or lose it. Specifically, they can repurchase almost 2 million of their common shares. They can do this by buying shares on the open market through bigger block purchases or other methods that follow the rules of the stock market. One of those rules is called Rule 10b-18, which sets some guidelines for how companies can buy back their shares without getting in trouble with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, which is like the police for the stock market. Now, a word of caution. This report, like many others, contains forward-looking statements. These are basically educated guesses about the future. They could be wrong. These statements are subject to many uncertainties, including things like the stock price, whether shares are available to buy, and how much money the company has to buy them. The company says they aren't promising to update these guesses, so don't rely on them too much. If you want to know more about the risks, check out the risk factors section of their other filings, like their annual report and quarterly reports. It's always good to read the fine print. Finally, we get to the list of exhibits or attached documents. These are the actual Second Amendment to the credit agreement, the original credit agreement from November of 2022, the press release, and the investor presentation. Now let's step back and look at the big picture. Viemed is in the healthcare business, specifically focusing on home respiratory care. They provide equipment and services to people who need help breathing. This is a growing field as more people are living longer and dealing with chronic illnesses. What are the strengths and weaknesses? One strength is that they are focusing on a growing market. The need for home respiratory care is likely to increase, which could boost their business. Another possible strength is that the share repurchase program could increase the stock price, which is good for shareholders. One weakness might be that they are taking on more debt to do things like buy back shares. This could make them more vulnerable if something goes wrong, like if they lose a big customer or if the economy slows down. Another weakness is that forward-looking statements are just educated guesses. In conclusion, this report tells us that Viemed is making some moves to potentially boost its stock price. The share repurchase program is a sign that they think their stock is undervalued. However, it's important to remember that there are risks involved and the future is never certain. Alright, that's our breakdown of Viemed Healthcare's latest filing. What's your take on these moves and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.